Well, thanks for coming, man. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
I appreciate it. All the way from the UK.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about you, Carl.
Where do I start?
Wherever you'd like.
Usual childhood, pretty happy. Well, very happy childhood.
Yeah.
Growing up, the usual kind of teenage growing pains, like parents divorcing, that's a common thing.
Yeah.
Got into various activities when I was a teenager, as you do.
Yeah.
Found music, ended up joining a band when I was in my teen years, which I subsequently did for 20 years. That was kind of me for 20 years doing this band. So we toured the world, did the usual stuff, rockstar stuff. Got me into some scrapes and some troubles, but allowed me to see the world. But obviously that kind of has its ups and its downs. So got to visit.
So you play guitar, drums, bass guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's also a great way to share your creativity. I'm sure, there was some ups and downs in that, but I'm sure when you're on stage and everything's aligned, you're in flow, it's got to be a great feeling.
Everything boiled down to being on stage. Around the stage, like the traveling and everything that happens off stage is.
Yeah, but isn't it like any business though, right? Like when you see it's like when the company grows, or you get to hire more employees, or you make an impact on the world, or you have a record year. That's the being on stage, right? But all the crap when people quit and the CFO embezzles money, or the employees don't work, like all those things around it is like the traveling, getting in a van, doing your stuff, right?
Yeah.
You kind of do it for
there's no free lunch, basically.
Yeah, exactly. No free lunch. So give me a little rundown, maybe the 3 years before getting involved in KBB or doing what you're doing now.
So the band slowed down dramatically, and I was like suffering like some health issues and stuff, so I couldn't really tour as much as I wanted to. So I just went into the full-time 9-to-5 job thing, and I was like coming from being a rock star, traveling the world, just getting drunk all the time and not really having to worry about anything, to then go straight into like an office setting of just working.
Just on a personal, what kind of music did you play?
Quite heavy metal music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like your own, or?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
awesome.
awesome.
We're assigned and everything to a label and music videos and all the cool stuff.
So you had all the cool stuff. Yeah, that's cool. I'd love to hear it, but later let me know how I can find it. That's cool. So you went from the rock lifestyle, I should say, right? Traveling, maybe partying a little too much, or just having a lot of probably freedom, not when you had to travel. I know it seems all magical because we only see you on stage, right? We don't see getting to each gig and dealing with contracts, dealing with attorneys, dealing with labels, your song, your other band's song. Then you got a whole band. Everybody's got to try to get along, right? And everybody's frustrated. Yeah, different personalities, different frustrations. So I can only imagine all the stuff that goes on to be able to make an album, get signed, and be on stage, right? So I get it. I know behind the scenes. Yeah. So maybe you needed a drink once in a while just to escape that.
Yeah, that's an excuse I used, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. So but that kind of was wearing out.
Yeah, as I was getting older, it's much more difficult to I just didn't have the energy to do what I was doing for so long. So yeah, I jumped into the full-time job thing, obviously hated it. I was working at Microsoft for a number of years. But I identified pretty early on that it wasn't going to be a career. I was identifying that I just wasn't going to go very far. So then I joined a marketing agency, which kind of sparked a bit of interest in kind of what I'm doing now, but didn't really realize it back then. But then again, 9-to-5 job, and I actually figured out that it was like a 3-hour round trip commute to the office every day in my car.
Wow.
And I figured out, I was there for just over a year, and I figured out in the space of 1 year, I was in my car for an entire month. Just traveling back and forth to the office.
That's enough
before
to
even
anybody.
Before even setting foot in the office and actually doing the full-time job, I was in my car for like 28, 29 days out of the year. So that was a good motivator for me to start think there has to be something else.
Yeah.
So I had the shiny object syndrome, looking around, trying all these different things, just trying to clamber onto something that could help me.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of people, as we go through this, the reason I love having you here is a couple of reasons. One is there's a lot of people going to be on the edge of saying, man, could I really do this? I used to be in a band. I used to be an electrician. I used to be a teacher. I used to be in the medical field. How could I teach people. I'm not a teacher. Maybe I'm not qualified. I'm an introvert. I could, I'm personally an introvert. I'm cool on stage. I get on stage, 20,000 people, no problem. Get in the back and 200 of them want to meet me, and I'm nervous and sick to my stomach like I've never done it before, right? And people would never, ever think that. I'm great one-on-one. I love one-on-one. I don't love one-to-many when it's personal. It still gets me. So, there's all these different things going on in people's heads, while simultaneously we have access to so many things, and they're all shiny. You go on Facebook, the feed, you could just go, and which one do you stop on, and which one aligns with you? So I'm really excited you're here, because in my life, if there's anything I could do in the world, sell objects, sell widgets, sell steel, sell anything, which is all great company, but to have the ability to impact people's lives, you sitting here, you flew all the way from the UK to be here with me. I know that Tony and I were able to make some impact on your life. Like, if I can weigh all the things in the world I get to do, I can't think of anything better. Being in a band is cool because you make people feel good. They're in the audience, and that moment when they're watching you in concert, they're forgetting everything else going on in their life, and they're having an experience. So I think this probably aligns with you as much, if not more than anyone, that you have the ability to still light people up in your own way and get paid to do it.
Yeah.
Right? So let's get back to your story. So you're in the shiny object syndrome. Like, where do I stop? Which one of these things could fit me, rather than the whole month out of a year just in the car, not less working for somebody else, but.
Yeah. So, back at the job on the side, secretly whilst I was at the job, I was just doing stuff, trying things here and there. And I ended up doing some e-commerce stuff, just self-taught, got some pretty good results.
Okay.
And for whatever reason, I saw something that inspired me to consider creating a course on what I'd learned. So I didn't realize that I was going to end up putting my knowledge into a course that's going to go on to help other people. So that's kind of where I was kind of at the early stages of putting this course together. But I didn't feel confident in myself, or is anyone going to pay me money to listen to me? I was at the very kind of early stages of self-doubt. And
So rockstar lifestyle, having fun, working your ass off, I get all it takes. Now, I'm surely not saying like rockstar lifestyle, people use that term, but I know what it's like when people say, oh, it must be nice to run a business like you do. I love being in business, but no one sees all the behind the curtain stuff. I guess that's the best way to say it, right? Yeah. They see you up stage, playing it's not this, it's this, right? Playing the bass, and you have all that behind. So you did that for a long time, over 20 years?
Yeah.
So over 20 years you're playing, but then that kind of is the past, right? You're fading out of that.
Yeah.
And you say, well, I better get real. That's probably when you're like your dad or like your teacher came into play, when it's like, okay, you had 20 years.
Yeah, you've had your fun. Now you need to get real.
It's time to grow up. Time to get real. Even though you were working, a real job being in a band, time to get real. So you go into a corporate America and get a job.
Yeah.
Right, 9 to 5-er. And great probably at first that you got the job, but then you start realizing I'm wasting a month of my life just in a car. I'm building someone else's dream. I don't have any freedom, especially the life you had. Even though it was structured, it was still free. And now all of a sudden you're in a cage.
Yeah.
I mean, legit, did it feel like a cage?
It was very difficult to just comprehend, like, this couldn't be it. Like, I couldn't accept that this was it.
Yeah. Did you have any anxiety or worry about it?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. No, because nobody talks about that part. They're like, oh, you had the 9 to 5, now you're doing this. But man, I know that feeling.
Empty and unfulfilled, and I just didn't. I was completely lost, and I couldn't admit that this was going to be what I was going to do for the rest of my life. I couldn't accept it. So that's what motivated me to start.
Yeah, and can I tell you why I love that you're here? Because there's so many people right now in transition in their life. Like, I'm here, but I know I need to go here. Yeah. But how? Where do I start? Who's a good guide? Everybody says they're the right teacher. Who can help me? Who can show me a path? And it goes beyond just not knowing what to do. That affects everything. When you're down, are you in a relationship?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're commuting 3 hours a day, going to something that's not fulfilling, are you the best man possible in your relationship? Right?
No, I'm grumpy as hell.
You're grumpy as hell. You come home, you want to kick the dog. I mean that. I don't mean that figuratively, right? But you have that feeling. And do you want to take care of your body at the highest level? Do you want to work on your personal growth at the highest level? Like, all of those things go together. Yeah. And it's so hard for people to see that, right? So, all right. So now you are working on a little something on the side, right? You get into e-commerce. You have some good results. Is there a point you go, all right, I'm building this course, I'm going to jump out of the corporate gig? Like, how did you merge those two?
So I was getting good enough results to consider quitting my job, but I just didn't have the confidence to do it because I didn't know if it was going to fluctuate or if it was going to, So I just started the thought process of making a course, but I didn't really know how to do it properly. And it was just mainly the confidence thing. It's like I could put together a course I know is going to help people, but I didn't trust that people would
want to pay you for it.
Yeah, because they're like, who the hell is this guy? Like, why should I listen to this person?
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I was at back in like April, which.
So then what happened?
So I had a friend that reached out and we ended up grabbing the KBB, and it's the perfect timing. It was strange. I just finished the course. I launched it. I didn't really know what I was doing.
Right.
To my group, made a couple sales, and I was like, wow, like
that didn't work.
Yeah, I was actually really amazed that someone did pay me money, but I was like, oh, this wasn't like the break I was looking for. And then I started going for the KBB, and there was a moment in the KBB when in the KBB you taught to kind of identify your superpower and then reverse engineer it to be able to cater it to your audience. And that was the moment that kind of switched it all for me. Because it changed it from having a course just so I can make money, which is cool. I can buy some nice fancy things and maybe quit my job, which I did subsequently quit my job.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
But it was having a course that's like equipping other people to potentially do what I've done as well, like get to the point where they can transition from the full-time job to quitting their jobs. And that was the biggest change for me, was knowing I could help hundreds of thousands of people from my knowledge.
Yeah, isn't it an amazing feeling? Like, especially when you grow up, you think of a teacher, right? Like only teachers teach, right? And our world has changed. Like, and I don't even know if we want teachers anymore. Like, I don't know about you. I had some of the most incredible teachers that they fill my heart when I think about them. And it's also teachers that like ruined a lot of my childhood and left scars and was called stupid and dumb because I had dyslexia. So it's just different personalities. And I think there's some teachers who just teach, meaning this is the assignment, get it done. And then there's other teachers, maybe you can think back, that impacted your life. Yeah, right? I can think back of Mr. Bozzo. He impacted my life. I still think about the guy, right? And I think that's what we worked really hard for people to see, and I'm so glad you say that, is like, we can make a living, a great living, in an industry heading towards $1 billion a day. We can make a great living impacting lives, not just teaching them, not being a teacher. You don't need the initials, you don't need the MD, we just have to take our life experiences and shorten other people's learning curve. We get to impact their life.
I have no credentials. I didn't go to college. Well, I attempted college twice, but that was in my teen years, and I was not in any fit state to actually finish the courses. So I dropped out of 2 college courses, didn't go to university. But here I am, like, teaching people. But I've still got friends that are still paying off like student loans and stuff, and they're still at their jobs, and I've surpassed their kind of what they thought would be their income in like a few short months.
Okay, so tell me again, so you got KBB, you're going through the course, and the part that really got to you is when you realized, hey, figure out who I am, what I can do for people, and then reverse engineer and find other people that need this, right? They want to quit the job, they want to do e-commerce, they want to work from home, they want to stop the commute. I've already done it, let me help them go faster. So you had that epiphany.
Exactly, yeah.
So how'd you take it, what'd you do from there?
I was able to, it helped with my marketing actually, in terms of how I worded what I was trying to sell, because I didn't really know how to market it properly. Yeah. And I used the wording to identify the key pain points of the people that wanted to buy the course, knowing full well that it's going to really impact their lives. And I was able to, again, reverse engineer that journey back.
Right, not just thinking of selling them something, giving something that could fuel their life.
Giving them the tools to change their life, which is exactly what it was and what it's done.
Amazing. So tell me, so now you have this epiphany, you have this shift, you change your marketing, what happens next?
The sales just start flying.
What's that feeling like? Like, again, I love going back to the feeling. Okay, you shared the anxiety and the worry of the 3-hour commute every day in a job, feeling like it's a cage, all those things. We already talked about that you don't come home being the best version of you when you're doing stuff like that. You come home frustrated, right? And then you launched the course on your own, and you had a couple of sales. And that's like, okay, but that's not a life changer. No. Right? You go through the process, go through KBB. I mean, I hope Tony and I know how to do it after 60 years, right? And all of a sudden, sales start flying in. What is that feeling like?
it was unreal. I couldn't comprehend. Like, yeah, it was amazing, especially like knowing that what I'd earned, like it's not really to do with what I earn, it's to do with impacting other people, but I figured out I had essentially earned 4 years of that full-time job in like 4 months.
Wow. Right.
Just working from home, just the complete freedom.
Is there anybody you're close enough to that you told the person you're in a relationship with, parents, friends, anybody you called, like, oh my God, this is working?
Yeah, my girlfriend, my dad, I was just sharing like what was going on, and they were just like, wow, like, because they couldn't believe it.
So tell me, so now you launched this course in a different way. You're impacting people's lives, you're changing their lives, and it's pretty addicting too, isn't it, when people go through your course? Like, this is addicting to me. You're here right now telling me this transformation. If you didn't get KBB, not that I'm saying you wouldn't have done it on your own, but it could have taken you 5 years to figure out what you figured out in a month.
Exactly. Right? Yeah. I don't know where I'd be right now if I didn't go through the KBB, honestly. Like, it may have made a few more sales, or it could have gone okay, but yeah, it just aligned at the perfect time.
So you made, not that I'm saying everybody's going to do this, but you made 4 years worth of income in 4 months.
Yeah.
Okay, so amazing. Congratulations. You're impacting lives. What'd you do next? Did you quit your job or?
Oh yeah. Yeah, my front room is like my office, and I just, super casual, wake up kind of. I mean, I wake up early because I'm just more motivated. I spend longer working on my own business than I would ever imagine in like a full-time job, just because it's...
But you probably like it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me what a day's like for, you know what, maybe if you could compare the 2 days. Would you mind doing that? Compare when you were working compared to what you do now.
Working would be wake up super early, scramble to, it's probably like 6:30.
Okay.
Scramble to make my coffee, jump in the car. That's just an hour and a half just in the car, driving to the office. Office, walk in, everybody's just faces down, like not happy. Get on with the day, be assigned my tasks. I wasn't really invested in the task because, again, it's for someone else. Like, I'm working for someone else's company. And no matter if I work really hard that day or I don't work very hard at all,
nothing changes.
Nothing changes, yeah. A full-time job, full day, back in the car, pitch black outside, get in the car, get home at like 7 or 8 o'clock in the evening, exhausted, make some dinner, maybe, or just get takeout, watch TV for like an hour, go to bed.
That's it.
And that was it every single day. But now I still wake up early, but my commute is like from here to there, bedroom round to front room. Have my little morning routine. I can just take my time. I do meditation. Got my like little red light therapy stack thing. I just like to try and take care of myself now. Yeah. And just approach my laptop when I feel ready and tackle the day.
How do you feel inside now compared to that?
Just relieved. Yeah. Like the burden's been completely lifted, especially knowing like if any bills are coming up, like especially like helping out my girlfriend if she's like got anything she needs to cover, or I've been helping out my dad as well. That's the biggest thing, is the burden's lifted in terms of like just paying basic bills like month to month, not from going from month to month to it's just taken.
And again, the opposite of coming home frustrated, not being the best version of you for your girlfriend. I bet you're a better version of you for her. You're more peaceful. When something goes sideways, you're probably the one that'll say, hey, we got this, we can handle it. Compared to like,
I'm still a bit, but in a good way now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we can just hang out because she has like random days off, whereas I'd have just a static full-time job and her days off would be random. So sometimes we wouldn't even see each other like properly until like for like an hour a day maybe. Yeah. But now she has a day off, I have a day off as well, and we just go somewhere, like enjoy it, and that's the biggest thing. It's being able to just enjoy more time with her and see my dad more often. We enjoy cars, me and my dad.
But isn't it amazing the little nuances, right? Like I think when we have lack of money, right? You were making probably enough money to get by, right? But you didn't have enough for freedom, right? No. But when we think about it, we think about just the money until it actually comes in and you realize it's not the money, it's that taking that worry away. Yeah. So you could spend more time with your dad on cars, you could take off a day with your girlfriend and really bond and have a connection, not just a quick, hey, what's up, how was your day? Okay, great, we only got an hour, right? That feeling of getting up with your red lights and meditating when it used to be a cup of coffee and an hour and a half commute. That hour and a half of that could be used towards meditation. You're in a different place in your soul, in your mind, in your thoughts. You get into flow state, right? You probably have the ability now that you can have days where you get into flow state. You can actually move the needle in your life and move the income in your life and move the impact you can make on others because you're in flow state. You're not in a hypnotic rhythm of someone else's life. Does that resonate with you?
Yeah, I'm in a relaxed state, which allows me to think more clearly, which again, it does impact more people. Like being able to have that freedom to just think rationally and help people rather than being in that stressed kind of just tense state of, I need to get through the day and then start again tomorrow. So,
there's a lot of people that are watching right now, and this could go out to people who haven't got enrolled, people who have already got enrolled, but we want them to take action. That's why I do the Facebook group every single week. I want people on the sidelines going, oh man, Carl could do it. I don't think I can. It's like, no, yes, you can. You just got to freaking do it, right? So we're always pushing, because this is a passion project for Tony and I. This is pushing people to action. But there's going to be a lot of people that are going to watch this right now that might be on the edge of saying, like, if there was a button, like, I want to do it, but man, I was never good with people. I'm not really a teacher, or I'm an introvert, or I was doing all these other things. How would people pay me for that? What would you say to a friend or someone just like they know they need to change, they're in transition, but we have that inner insecurity, that little voice that goes, no, stick with your job. You won't be safe. Everything will crumble. Your life will be over. What would you say to those people right on the edge?
You just take a chance. Like, exactly. I'm literally nothing special. Like, I just took a chance and just started. It doesn't have to be a huge, like people see the end goal as like this huge mountainous task that they have to do in one go, otherwise it's a failure. No, you just step by step. You have that seed of you want to do something, you take action on it. You take action on it, you make some progress, you take the next step. And that's all I've done is just incrementally kind of just learn, review, process, and just keep evolving as a person. That's it. Just take that initial first step, just to start. If I didn't do that one step, I'd still be at the full-time job. I just did that one step that kind of just diverted my path to full-time job to where I am now, which is here and doing amazing things. And
that's awesome. What was your favorite part about the course?
The epiphany part. It was that epiphany that was just worth it. It helped me identify my epiphany moment, which is realizing how I'm going to impact other people's lives. It wasn't just a monetary thing for me. It was freedom for me and my family, but it was impacting other people's lives. That was the key difference, knowing that I could help other people.
And that rolled over into everything, right? That probably took your marketing to another level. It took your confidence that you could do this to another level.
Yeah, right? I didn't have the confidence really until then.
Yeah, and when Tony and I laid out this course, there's so many cool pieces. I hope you see that, right? But if you realize, we took 60 years, as Tony always says, took decades into days, right? So we took 60 years of being in this industry between the two of us. And then we had these buckets, right? And then you're like, which goes first? Right? We could have taught marketing first and then how to build your agenda. We could have taught, how to run there was all these pieces. And the more I asked people on stage, I'd be on stage and say, okay, I want to teach you guys how to share what you know, impact other people's lives, enter an industry, go into $1 billion a day. And what I would ask them is, what would be the number one thing you'd be afraid of? And most people said, I don't know if I can teach it, or I don't know if I have the confidence to share what I know, or would people really pay me? And that's why, if you noticed in the first hour of the course, I wanted to make it so people would go, oh, wow, I can do this.
Yeah, it's all that. I mean, you could teach all the technical stuff forever, but it's that shift that you need to do first. That everyone has the capability. And
then once you had that shift, didn't you want to devour the whole course?
Yeah.
Yeah. And get to not only devour the course, but get to take an action, right?
Yeah, that's the important part. Yeah. You can have all the courses in the world, but if you're not taking action, just getting it out there, getting yourself out there, that's the biggest thing.
Amazing. So somebody who's already got the course, what would be maybe one thing that you learned, or a variation of what we taught you, or something you figured out completely on your own that could maybe help them get a leg up on what they're doing?
I speak to a few people, and they've still not even actually finished the course.
Right.
And a good analogy, I guess, was fitting actually, because I'm here. I managed to hike the Camelback Mountain yesterday with some of the KBB family actually, and Lenny, and that was the perfect kind of analogy. Actually, as I was going up, it reminded me, like, just get to the first module, do it, take the next step, do it. Because when I was approaching the mountain in the car, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm not like the fittest guy. Like, I don't really kind of hike. I've never hiked in my life. And yeah, as I was approaching the mountain, I was like, well, that's a big task. I don't know if I can do it, or I'm going to be just exhausted by the top. But no, it was the incremental stages, which is similar to the modules in the course, the lessons in the course.
Yeah.
Just do it incrementally, and don't see the big picture as just one huge task.
Right, and all of a sudden, especially it's like Kaizen, right? How do you run a 1,000-mile race, one step at a time? Yeah. Like if you stare at the top of the mountain, we could see it through the window there. It's like, wow. But if you just go and you go, I'm going to get to that rock, and then I'm going to go to that rock, and then I'm going to go to that rock. Yeah. You do that long enough, you're at the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how we design the course, especially with the little quizzes and the tests and unlocking some Easter eggs. We call them. They're really just prizes and bonuses for. We really want to pull people through the course, right? Because again, you hit the nail on the head. Everybody and their brother does courses, but can you do a course that people complete? And that's what I think you've done such a great job with the course you built. And we teach people, it's like build stuff that pulls people through, because then when they get to the end, they look around like, oh my God, I made it to the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
Right? And then you have the capabilities to go do what it is you want to do.
Absolutely.
If there was anything you wanted to say to other people that are not quite where you are yet, right? They got the course, or they're thinking about getting the course. It's kind of a similar question. I just want to get another variation. What would be, besides the one step at a time, is there anything else you would share with them on, if they're nervous about moving forward?
Well, firstly, everybody's got some knowledge. Like, everybody's picked up something, like in their career or in their hobby. And you just need to be literally just one step ahead of someone else. There's right now, if you're watching this, there's someone that's one step behind you that would love the knowledge that you have, again, that you've picked up in your career or a side thing.
Yep. That
could change their life. And you just have to just make that available to someone. That's it. Everybody's got the ability to teach something and help other people and make an impact on other people's lives. Guarantee it.
Yeah, and the cool part is, it's not like this is the way the world's going. Yeah. Right? 20 years ago, if someone wanted to get into e-commerce, right? Well, e-commerce wasn't really around 20 years ago, but if they wanted to get into something, the first thing they would consider, just the gut, would be, what school should I go back to? Right? What college offers an e-commerce, a real estate, a business, marketing, sales? What colleges? And that's not where the world is anymore. Where the world is now is, I want to get into e-commerce. Who can I find that's already been to e-commerce? Oh, Carl's been doing it? Man, I don't want to start fresh.
Exactly.
I want to start off where you left off. If I can pay you for a weekend, for a workshop, for a course, for a seminar, for a summit, for whatever it is, and go, oh, wow, in the beginning of the weekend, I didn't know anything. At the end of the weekend, I know what Carl knows. I'm in, right? So the world is already going that way. And Tony and I just wanted to create a gold standard process that if you're going to share with people, share it from your heart. Share it the right way. Follow this model, and you'll make more and you'll impact more. Do you think we did a good job on that?
I would say so. Yeah, absolutely. I've learned more in the last few months than, in my life. Like, there's no way I'd contemplate going to school or night school or any kind of thing, because again, by the time you attend these schools and colleges and universities, what they teach is out of date already. Like, by the time you walk through the door on the first day. Yeah. Whereas if you're learning like to the minute courses that are being tweaked and updated all the time, you're learning just the most up-to-date, relevant information quickly, like super quick. It just makes the most sense. Yeah. It really does.
Well, you didn't follow through on university. I never even started, but it's so great that people have access to you, to me, to Tony, to everybody. Because when I was in high school, it's when computers just first came out. Oh my God, it was a long time ago. 33 years ago, I was in high school. And when I didn't have access to podcasts or IG or Facebook or YouTube or online, none of that existed. So it was hard to find a mentor. It was hard to find someone who had already done it. If they weren't in your proximity, right, then you had to read books. And I had dyslexia, so I hated reading. It was before books on audio, right? So I was in this, I was searching for someone So this is more than just a course to us. This is what we wanted. Tony felt the same way when he was young, right? So now that everybody has access to you and they can find you and find everybody else that's watching, we want the whole world to do what you've done, is help make this a movement, help fix a outdated education system, help make self-education, specialized knowledge, the new norm. And I think we're on our way. I think we're doing a good job.
I believe so.
Yeah. And I appreciate the work, the dedication. I'm so glad you had the epiphany. I'm so glad that you had a shift in your career and your life and where you're going to go. And this is just the beginning. I mean, you're not even a year in.
Yeah, like 5-6 months.
Isn't that incredible?
Yeah. So I don't really know what the future holds, but I know that it's going to be. If I've done this in 6 months, I'm scared with excitement of where I'm going to be in the next 6 months, year, 2 years.
One last thing I'd love for you to share, and I know we talked about it. Just we edit this and we'll cut it for different purposes. Some will be for new people, some will be existing people. We might even put some of this in the course itself, the new course that's coming out. But if you had to share kind of your journey of before KBB and after, maybe you could just share that one more time.
Journey before was just interesting, upbringing, the band, being cool rock star, through to the 9 to 5, just hating it, obviously, clambering for something to just break me out of it, and I had to stop doing the 9 to 5. But I was lost. Tried the shiny object syndrome thing. Tried various things. Didn't work out. Had an idea, a seeded idea of I was going to help teach people with my knowledge, but didn't really know how. I was lost and confused, as most people are. Yeah. I discovered the KBB, and it really just a spotlight just went on what I wanted to do and just illuminated what to do in the most clear, concise way, and it allowed me to get my message out there, sell my knowledge to a lot of people. It impacted my life first immediately in a huge way, but then I started getting people coming back to me. They're showing me their results that they were getting through my help. That was like a guy messaged me saying from what I taught him, it paid for his Christmas for his family, and
wow.
And other people were on the verge of quitting their jobs. Some people have now. Going from that 9 to 5 to impacting people's lives and helping other people quit their jobs and cover their expenses for the entire Christmas period and stuff. From that one defining moment in the middle of the KBB, teaching me to now teach other people. It's
and you could see why this is such a passion for us, because we can teach as many people as we can, but if we teach the teachers, it's exponential, right? Just the 5 people that are here right now from KBB, just think how many lives the 5 of you are going to impact. And we're already 21,000 people strong, right? Yeah. Think about where that is going, right? Imagine when we do the yearly event in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And there's, 6,000 people doing this, and those 6,000 people are impacting millions, right? 5 years from now, I think we change the world, and we do it together.
Let's do it.
All right, man. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
This was fun.
Yeah.